This is Annie Jane Hughes-Griffiths. This diary, essentially, it's been in the National Library since the 1960s, I think. This is basically the first time that we're ever going to hear the story of the women's peace petition going to America in the voice of Annie. So shall we start the story and just see how it unveils? So I've got the journey. February the 2nd, 1920. This is Open's black diary. Annie signs it in her hotel room and jots up the day, and we're started. So, beautiful bright morning, sun shining, a light breakfast, drove to Euston Station. Found our train already on platform 14. A saloon carriage had been reserved for us through the extreme kindness of Mr. Glyn Roberts of Euston Station, and this was no ordinary saloon. We steamed out of the station loaded with good wishes, had lunch, 12:13, reached Lime Street at 2:30, met by Miss Anna Rowlands and Miss Menai Rowlands. We took a taxi and drove down to the Prince's Landing. We got on the boat, the SS Cedric. Now, a representative of the White Star Line, he made himself known to me and told me that the oak case containing the 390,296 signatures was safely in the hold.
Mrs Peter Hughes-Griffiths, we now know as Annie, is someone who I've come across before but never actually known who. We're trying to sort of crack down who it is. And I've sort of had to find out previous to this sort of book group and finding out about what work you've been up to. I had to go through the husband to try and find out who her name was through sort of biographical websites. And
it's such an example of how women's history is lost by
guys,
all that, use their names, using their husband's names for such a long time.
Yeah, so she was actually president of the Welsh League of Nations Union for a year.
When at lunch, a pressman came to me, and I like this bit because it's one of those kind of characterful bits where you get an idea of what her personality's like, and said, "Mrs. Griffiths, I am from the press. I have nothing to say," I said. "Oh," said he, "we know your story of the Women of Wales movement, but we want to take some photos. Will you come to the top deck when you have finished?" "Agreed," said I. So I gave them an address on the links that bind Wales and America together and our act of memorial. Then we three went up to the chest, which had been placed on the dais, and padlocks were unlocked, and we gave up the padlocks, I think, and the memorial to Mrs Ruth Morgan. And the chest was inspected, and the first question I was asked concerning it was, "Oes yma enwau o Sir Meirionnydd? Are there any names here from Meirionnydd?" Then in the charge of Mrs Morgan and Mrs Swigelt, we all walked across to the White House for an interview with President Coolidge. On entering, we found the hall filled with people, reporters, photographers and others. We saw a man in charge, in plain clothes, no uniform here. We saw on his list of President's engagements for the day February 21st, 1924, 12:15, Mrs Hughes-Griffiths, Mrs Mary Ellis and Miss Price.
Over the course of the 4 days, she travels from Salt Lake City in Utah to San Francisco. But the thing that struck me most about this 4 days was her interest in the scenery, and particularly in the plants and mountains and snow. And I'm convinced that she was a horticulturalist, especially her interest in daffodils.
Tuesday, March 12th, left Los Angeles by the 11 a.m. train. A letter was handed to me as I left the station, an anonymous letter telling us to get out of the States.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, if I'd been writing that diary, I think I would have put some more about that. I mean, you wonder if that was the only event that happened. There must have been.
Yeah, there must have been
opposition. You would think, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Got to Chicago by 10 to 10, got a taxi and drove up, where Abby greeted us very warmly, where we found a bundle of letters awaiting us, 3 from Peter, 4 from Tom, 2 from Lily, 1 from John.
I think that would be nice. That's that's clearly her family. That is the point of call, isn't it? Is that.
Arriving at New York, we made our way to the Women's University Club. I found letters and papers awaiting us. Linda and I were invited to lunch at the Colony Club by Mrs Ruth Morgan. We got there by 1:15 and met Miss Morgan and her mother had a delicious lunch. Mrs Morgan spoke messages which should be sent by women of America to women of Wales in reply to their message. These replies were provided for the annual meeting of the Welsh Council of League of Nations in Whitweek. We went onto the schoolroom of the Welsh Chapel, where there were about 50 women had assembled to meet us. Said a few words, and then Mrs Thomas and I were presented with gifts. I had a silver fruit and flower vase, and Mrs Thomas had a pie slice.
I love the fact they're still very feminine objects for gender stereotypes.
Yeah.
When they're doing something
Yeah.
out of that realm, aren't they?
exactly.
Still, a pie slice.
Yeah.
You can imagine coming back, you've got that in one hand, they've got this message from America and a pie slice.
What did you bring back?
Welcome to our primary school.
Well, the children have been very excited to find out about Annie and who she was and what she did. We've written diaries as if we were Annie getting onto the boat and getting off the boat. We've researched what 1920s New York was like.
Dear diary, overjoyed, I stepped aboard a gigantic busy steamboat that could fit 1,597. Wow, that's a lot. The dock was busy, very busy.
Some people are concerned about me, others think it's a brilliant idea. I'm really excited to travel to America, but I'm also nervous to meet the president.
I think it's really important that women's history is told, that there's so much hidden history, and that the children find out about people from Wales that actually have made a difference, and that anyone's voice can be heard, and that no matter how old or how young, whether they're a girl or boy, actually they can make a difference.
I like when she got the signatures of Welsh women and went to the president. I liked how she basically wanted peace.
Annie is special to me because she did a great thing and she travelled to America and told the president that she had 390,000 signatures with her.
Annie is special to me because I think she is very adventurous and she fought for women's rights in Wales.
I think if she didn't do the great thing, then I don't think other women would be as confident. I feel like it's quite important because I feel like we want to stop all the fights and all that, and we're glad that there hasn't been a World War III yet. She is a confident lady that goes around the world and very adventurous, so that makes me want to get more adventurous and travel places.
Dear diary, the more people who encourage me, the more excited I get. We shall sail on a boat, we shall sail as far as we can, and we shall arrive at America. Bon voyage.
And we want to put up a statue or maybe a blue plaque by her house to show what she did there. I think that we should name the Peace Poppy after her because she wanted peace in our world.
Dear diary, am I excited? Am I curious? Am I worried? Of course I am. And I can't wait to give the president all my signatures.
Dear diary, I shall get peace. I shall get on this boat. I will not give up. I shall get peace for Wales. Here's to get peace for Wales.
Thank you, Annie, from Harrow Primary School.
Then we drove back past the Lincoln Memorial, where Alina took some photos. Then car to Smithsonian Institute, where we decided, ! On a spot where the oak chest should be placed. So, there we are.
That's exciting.
Yeah. And then Mrs Morgan came to bid us goodbye, her last message being as follows. This one is definitely worth reading out fully. Our organisation, the National Council for Prevention of War, which apparently was founded in 1921, is trying to do one definite thing and is arranging an active campaign to attempt to secure the sanction of the Senate for entrance into the Permanent Court of International Justice, which is the forerunner of the UN court. Your visit to us has awakened a great deal of fresh interest and will help our campaign forward greatly, for the success of such a campaign depends entirely upon popular interest. And your message to us has added that touch of drama which is necessary to arouse that interest.
Wow.